Did Playsaurus scam its customers and use early access as its scapegoat? This might be a question that's going to be asked of Clicker Heroes 2 for some time, as there are a lot of accusations and a lot of evidence all pointing to Playsaurus either not being completely open about what's going on, or just being downright stupid. Not that Steam is any better. After all, the same retarded hive mind that gave Five Nights at Freddy's 7 overwhelmingly positive, despite it being the same assets, the same music, the same everything for the 7th fucking time, are the same swarm that idiotically flock to Clicker Heroes 2 and give it very positive, despite what might be going on, and as stated, using early access as their shield, but in order to start deconstructing this mess of good and evil, greed and so on, we first must go back to the very beginning, to give you a perspective of time, as time is a big factor versus just exactly what is going on and what is being advertised versus the price, especially when early access is involved. So first, let's go back to the past. So this part is not so much exposing or critiquing anything, it is more a frame of reference for the general public's perspective. First, back in November of 2017, Playsaurus announced that they were dropping their free-to-play model, which will become relevant later, but that was only November. We can go back even further. The earliest date I could find was from the Clicker Heroes 2 wiki, which was when they first announced it, and that was on the 28th of June 2017, 1 year and 1 month ago. By the by, keep in mind this was the first public announcement. This means that things like the game's concept arts, their idea and everything else was already in development before this, and once they had a solid idea and they were ready to start making it, they publicly announced it. Again, this is literally only here to serve as point of reference. That is, this is what they have been working on for over a year, and this is the results that we have now after that year's worth of work. That being said, let's wind the clock forward once more to the present day and begin to work out just where the good intentions end and the greed begins. So let's start with their November statement, the whole free-to-play statement. The main gist of the statement was trying to say ethics, while also being backhanded, saying how across Clicker Heroes 1 there were some players that spent thousands. Fucking Jesus. Taking shots at things like EA with Dungeon Keeper Mobile and Command and Conquer Rivals and the whole Wales thing, but then immediately backhanding it with, by the way, great if you're rich, be our guest. You little killer Keemstar rat! Oh yes, we don't like whales, we're totally against whales, but if you're one of them, then be our guest to give us thousands. We don't like it, we don't want it, but we're not going to say no to it. They also talk shit about refunds, saying people with problems can have their money back, but again backhand it by saying you're just too ashamed. Oh, we would be happy to give you your money back. All of you, we would be happy to reimburse you for the thousands you spent, but you dirty fucking gambling cheaters and all of you people with those addictive tendencies, well, it's your fault. You're just too ashamed to come forward and get your money back. Now, regardless of how backhanded some of these statements seem, and maybe a few extra rewrites and actually having a proper editor look at it might have been needed, there are some genuine good intentions and sincerity here, really addressing that quite a lot of free-to-play mobile games like Dungeon Keeper Mobile, Command and Conquer Rivals, and of course Harry Potter Hogwarts Mysteries are extremely manipulative and will really force the microtransactions onto those with addictive tendencies weak-willed, or those that don't know any better, i.e. children. And it is a really nice gesture that they would have been willing to give the refunds, as they said, again backhanded, but it's true, not everyone will come forward. There will be some people that will be ashamed, and those people that don't come forward, well, they've profited anyway. But the one thing I find by far the most interesting and the most juiciest to really lay into any AAA developer or dirty dev like Hi-Rez that is always like, we can't just give this shit away, crystals are expensive. Well, Playsaurus has just outright said to the world that literally you're not drawing every single crystal. Here's the line right here. You're not drawing every single crystal by hand, and your magic monopoly money literally costs nothing. And even if you were to refund every single person and give every single person their money back, you still keep the processing fees, so in the end you still profit, which means it would still be win-win-win for you. So next time anyone like Blame Others says, "Oh, Mr. Spyro, Paladins has to charge 600 crystals for that skin. That's what that skin's worth." Well, no, it's not, as your magic monopoly money has just been proven by someone using and making it that it's literally worth fucking nothing, and you're pulling the numbers of how many crystals it's required for that skin out of your arse. And I say crystals, but it could be anything, be it crystals, V-Bucks, or whatever. You're pulling the numbers out your arse to get people to spend even more money. Another story for another day, but for the most part, this section has a lot of sincerity to it, and they are definitely wanting to shirk the fee-to-pay model for a more paid-for full experience. However, the sincerity kind of begins and ends there, as from their sincerity comes their arrogance and bullshittery. I mentioned this problem of mob mentality near the beginning, and the same applies here. If we use FNAF 7 as our benchmark and the way it was memed by all of the little children, despite the game being an asset flip, the same characters, the same engine, the same audio, everything just thrown together and shat out for the 7th time. Despite this, because Scott has drilled this idea into the subconscious so deeply, people just can't let it go, despite the game theorists saying that it was going to be his last FNAF theory.
Episode last week was the 200th episode, but I thought this felt more appropriate because it's solving FNAF with one final mega theories.
Oh yeah, it's the last fucking theory! It's one last big theory, but here's a one from a month ago, and then here's another one, and then there's another one, and then there's another one, cause you're a fucking lying piece of shit, aren't you? And you're never gonna stop, and this'll further hammer my point in a minute. Also, Matt Pat, you little scumbag, don't think for a second I didn't see that fucking Super Smash Bros. Ultimate joke in your little review 2 days ago. Oh, what's that? The 19th? I think I did that nearly it's actually over 2 whole weeks before you. You're trying to... Look, I get it. You have to take jokes from the greatest dragon in all of gaming, because that's what people have to do. People can't be me or hope to compare with my radiant purple splendor, so they naturally have to steal my content. Well, you could have at least said, hey, Spyro also did this. You could have at least hinted that I was the first one to do it, you little shit. But it's okay, because being the greatest dragon in gaming, and of course the hero in every game, I will play the good guy, and I will say, I forgive you, MatPat. I forgive you for taking that joke 19 days after me, you little bastard. But anyway, the fact that you made another FNAF theory just 2 days ago, even though you said you were going to have the one 9 months ago be your last one, it just kind of furthers the point that I'm about to make in the video. So let's get back to the video. Many months ago, well, here he is doing another 2 videos and calling it FNAF Week, so much for that. And this is because they have had this thing, I'm not too sure, this addiction, so ground down into their brain that if they were to say anything bad, that could mean that Scott could say fuck you and go on to do something else and leave them behind. And that's just something they can't accept, that's something that they can't live with. So despite it being an asset flip, again for the 7th time, to make sure that Daddy Scott doesn't leave them behind, it gets an overwhelmingly positive. And the same applies here. It's clear, no one can deny that if Cookie Clicker is certainly the king of clicker games, then Clicker Heroes was most definitely the queen, coming out at around the same time and getting the attention of big people like Markiplier involved. And that mob mentality applies here, for the most part. The diehards that are clicking to Playsaurus's leg, well, they have to give it a positive review. Even though it's clear that this quote-unquote game is nowhere near deserving of it. Now, this would not be too relevant, but what makes it even worse is Playsaurus's bragging attitude, making a Steam post being like, oh look, our clicker game, our $30 clicker game is doing so good, and all it has is the stereotypical bullshit of, oh, it was only possible with you, the fans. But this point is mute, because the fans aren't really fans, they're so diehard. It could even be those people that invested thousands upon thousands of dollars. The point is mute because these diehards are not your fans, they're just there to give you a positive review for the meme. That's it, nothing more, because it's clear that it's not a positive game, and this is where we'll get into the main point of the game, or the main point of the review, the main problem with the review. Because the only reason you got overwhelmingly positive is because everything you did and everything that Clicker Heroes 2 is based on is a lie. And bragging how well your $30 game is doing, considering what we just brought up in the fee to pay section and what comes next, well, it doesn't make it look all that good. And this is where the lie starts to show. Nowhere along the way did anyone ever realise that this was going to be an early access game. In fact, considering how the game is almost finished, or possibly even finished in the state that it's in, it seems like this early access tag is nothing more than an illusion, a shield to deflect the criticism. Let me explain. So in the previous post on their website that we saw, they talk about pre-orders and testing the beta. Now, while I did not do this because I was not willing to pay the $30 at the time, let's hypothetically say I did. I'm now testing your beta ready for Steam. So, what exactly has been tested? As here in this full release it seems that nothing was tested, or if it was, like frame rates were low and you fixed the frame rates, it seems that very little, only minor things have been changed, and all of the other things that should have been changed, things that are so absurd that are crucial to the game moving forward, it seems like you haven't changed that and you're just doing it on purpose to be lazy. We will use the biggest one. Booting up the game, we are welcomed to a text screen of how it's a work in progress and so on and so forth. But the biggest bit, the bit that stands out, is that your save will not carry over into further versions. And we have to ask why. You claim it's for balancing, but it's a fucking clicker game. There is no excuse that you can give or say that you can't move a save file, as bigger games that are a lot more complex and have far more working parts and moving parts, be them 3D or 2D, their games can carry their save datas over without any problem. Two of the biggest examples of this, one of them is Terraria. In the original Terraria, there was the Hallowed Armor. The Hallowed Armor was god tier. It was overpowered to an absurd degree, and rightfully so, as the three final bosses at the time, the Twins, Skeletron Prime, and the Destroyer of Worlds, were near impossible. Even the top guys that could fight the Dungeon Guardian and take on all of the normal bosses underwater, all that crazy stuff, even the top people had a very difficult time killing the three mechanical bosses. They weren't impossible, but for most people they were near unkillable, and I myself only managed to kill one, that being the Destroyer of Worlds, by sheer luck. Other things were that corruptors could spit onto the ground and corrupt the ground, undoing your purification, making the game very tedious, and clowns destroyed the landscape and anything within that area, so if a chest got hit, all your stuff is gone in an instant. Then came the 1.1 update with Plantaria. The mechanical bosses and Hallowed Armor were severely nerfed to an absurd degree for balancing against the newly overpowered Plantera and Plantera Armor. The Clown's bombs now only did massive area of effect damage and not terrain damage to ensure that your chests were safe, and corruptors no longer undid your purification of the land, making it less tedious. Essentially, 1.1 was an entirely different game with balancing through the roof, but did your save file get wiped? No, it didn't. And again, this was a single player game same as yours. The same can be said of Stardew Valley. Recently, its multiplayer beta has now been fully tested. It's been betaed for a month and will soon to be released as a full multiplayer experience within the week. Yet, will your farm be destroyed? That multiplayer farm that you might have put hours into with your friends, will that get wiped for the new multiplayer official? The answer again is no. And once again, both of these games have far more working parts. Night and day settings, night and day cycles, boss patterns, damage calculation, defense calculation, the land changing to how you affect it, whether you're mining down to the center or on your farm. Different people will choose different farms, different teams will grow different crops. There are far more working and moving parts. So if their save files can carry over, why can't yours? And remember, again, keep in mind, this is a clicker game, one of the most static games, as everything in the game most of the time is static. The time of day does not change. Bosses and enemies don't attack you, so there is no damage to defense calculation on your side at least. So why, in a far more simple game, can you not transfer your save file? And to add salt into the wound, this by extension means that if you were one of the idiots that dropped $30 or £23, like myself, I'm no better, but I'm going to say for review purposes, you have essentially bought a game that you cannot play. As what is the point? Sure, you could get to level 1000, get all the skills and everything else, but then none of it will matter, as once the new version comes out, everything you did is gone. You're going to feel like shit when that 100 plus hours are stripped away from you. So you might as well wait till you are 100% guaranteed that your save file will carry over. But when is that going to be? A week? A month? A year? Who knows? But for now, you paid $30 for a dead game that will be sitting there till, who knows when, till the point when you won't lose your progress. Adding to this is a little update. They did reply and say that it's only going to happen once and they're looking to get the save files locked, within the following weeks/months. So it does bring up my point of how many weeks, and it even says /months. So is that 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, a year? We don't know. So if anything, that is the first one that you need to address. That is the thing that you need to focus on most of all. I don't care what you're doing right now. You need to absolutely drop everything you're doing, like playing as a wizard. Screw the wizard. We're going to talk about that in a minute, but screw the wizard. You need to focus on getting that save file running instantly. The transferring of a save file needs to happen now before everybody starts to get pissed off that they're going to have to do 1,000 hours again. Anyway, back to past Spyro. The second part of this early access bullshit is their shield, as from what I've played, it is for the most part a finished product. Most of the animations are done, the levels are done, the music is done, everything is done. There are only minimal things that are not done, like achievements and alternate skins, like a Halloween skin, shall we say, and we'll get into that later, but for the most part, it is done. And if it was a full game, it would be outrageous to charge $30. It's ridiculous to charge $30 for the product you have now. And as I say, for the most part, it's done. The music is done, and by the way, all the stuff that is done, it's great. The music is fantastic, and I got a really good joke out of it. Another problem, it's not even doing anything. Oh my god, we're only on World 1. We're only on World 1 fucking 4, Jesus. Jesus.
I want to die. Crippling depression.
Downward spiral, downward spiral, downward spiral, downward spiral, downward spiral, downward spiral. Why are we still here? Just to suffer. Every night.
The music could have not been timed more perfectly, that death music. Oh, that was perfect timing. That was perfect timing. I didn't even edit that in. That the music just come on at the exact right point, and I just stopped. I just stopped for that moment because I just saw everything flash through my head. All that editing that you just saw, I just saw it flashing through my head as that music was playing. So, you know, well done on that, I guess. And all of the little animations and enemies look fantastic. Everything that is there is done to a high degree, but the stuff that claims to not be done is minimal, like the achievements. And it would be absurd to charge $30 for this product. It is ridiculous to charge $30 for essentially a clicker game. So, how do you minimise the backlash? Well, put it on early access, of course, as it's a beta, and after all, if it's not finished, you can't be criticised as harshly, even though to me that is a fallacy, as the second you charge money for a product, you can be criticised for it. However, their biggest shield of it's a beta then becomes their biggest weakness as it leads into the next point. Now, in reality, this title should be more aptly a full release. No beta, no early access, as since November, as that's when the pre-orders went live, while I cannot prove it and it is purely speculation, I have a very strong reason to believe that the version that was put on Steam, this version right here, is the same exact version that the pre-orderers got in November to give feedback for, and either no feedback was given, or the feedback was just minimalistic things like frame rate issues which were fixed, or they were waiting to see how many people would blindly throw $30 at a clicker game. As going back, things just don't add up. One case in particular is where they are talking about the game on their own website, and they very specifically state in the very first line about this game where it says, pick your favourite hero. Well, you can't. There is only one. This blue-haired ponytail girl. And nowhere on that page does it ever state that this is not a feature. There is no line of text that says this is a beta version. As far as there is a little video, there is a beta showcase, but there's no time of reference for when this video was made, and never is it stated in this video that you are going to be buying an early access game or you're going to be getting the beta. For the most part, all that's on your site is, this is Clicker Heroes 2, pick your favourite hero and dive in. And it makes this one line in particular of select your hero when you can't, it's just the bastard child of Squid Girl and Hatsune Miku, a total lie, because most people are casuals. They will just see your information and click buy and jump in, and if they see the pick your favourite hero and then there is no hero, that's false advertising, and people might want to try and say that you're false advertising, just something you wish to change there, something you might want to look into. But this continues because even more strange, the stranger thing about this hero thing is, while there is a tab for alternate skins and achievements, there is no tab for different heroes. So what gives? If it is a removed feature, then the statement of course is now false and you definitely need to change it. Or if it is still that heroes are coming, then why is there not even a hero tab yet? So what's going on there? I did see an update which said you were working on the wizard, but again you might want to update your website to say choose your favourite hero soon so that you don't get in trouble. As for skins, they are interesting, and this is where we're now going to review the rest of the game, all the features. So the skins are again interesting because it suggests that there are going to be different clothing options for Bootleg Aqua here. Again, this was last year, this was when they announced the game and had their beta showcase and were really pushing how great it was going to be. So what have you been doing since November? Why are there no skins? Why are there no achievements? These graphs? Because these graphs are a massive waste of time. Although, to think about it, if there was 3 words that could sum up Clicker Heroes 2 at this current point, it would be massive waste of time. So these skins are currently not in the game, but I think I know why, because you are now in hot water with these skins with the early access shield. As first off, in terms of gameplay, as you gain gold, you spend it on upgrades to upgrade your sword and your armor, starting off with the wooden mouse sword and wooden armor, and then going through stone, leather, iron, steel, and so on. But not once does the mouse sword or the girl ever change the sword itself or the clothes. They remain the same. They always remain the static default white mouse, or the clothes remain the static default white clothes. Something you would have think they want to really work on to show, hey look, you're definitely progressing through the world. You're getting stone armor. Oh look, you're wearing stone armor. Oh, now you got iron armor on because you're definitely progressing. But let's play devil's advocate here and say they want them to remain default because the skins that will be implemented at a later date are static. They are going to be skins that you won't want to change. If we use their adorable, really funny looking turkey auto clicker from the first one as a skin, well, here you are in a turkey suit, wielding a giant drumstick as your clicker. Well, that's cool, and you don't want the turkey suit to disappear because you upgraded from wood armor to stone armor. You picked the turkey suit because you want to strut around in the turkey suit and you want to show it off. It's the skin that you earned, and that's the skin that you want to permanently see because to you it's visually appealing. It's just cosmetic. No, to you it's visually appealing and you want to see the turkey. So what's the point of having the default girl get stone armor, iron armor, steel armor if you later down the line earn a skin and then you just want to have that permanent skin? The upgrading armors will be pointless. So let's play devil's advocate and say that's why you want to have the default stuff, because the skin will replace the default skin and then it'll just never change. So maybe we can give that a pass. But now, Playsaurus, I ask you, and this is a big question, this is the one that you need to put front and center right now on one of your little news updates. Are you planning to charge for these skins? As if you do, then you are no better than any other AAA game having a full-priced, paid-for game with microtransactions. And considering you're already charging $30 for a fucking clicker game and using early access as your shield, well, you would certainly have some nerve to charge extra for these skins. But of course, you're already fucked with them due to using early access as your shield. As well, if you say you're out of early access and the skins are free, well then the game's not worth $30 as there's still shit that is unfinished, like the achievements generating you negativity and saying it's not worth the price. If you charge for the skins, you look no better than any of the AAA bastards like EA, and you generate negativity. And if you charge while in early access, then you have an Ark Survival Evolved problem where you're working on DLC before the game is done, and I really hope you're not going to charge for these skins because you're already pushing it with the $30 price tag. So your only hope is to make all the skins free and earned in-game, as any other option is a loss with a whole lot of backlash. The best example, so let's just go to the next point and then I'll come back to the skins. So your only hope, as I say, is to make them free, because here comes the biggest point for everyone, but especially you, Playsaurus. Like, everybody's already got this point, but if you're watching this video, because you do say you listen to all the feedback, this is the point you need to listen to. This is the one you have to just listen, okay? So I'm going to answer this call and then I'm going to tell you what you got to do. Sorry, it was just the Raven asking to play Fortnite. Oh boy, 2 wins in one night? Ah, I'm the next ninja, baby. Well, I'm not. Most of the credit goes to Deeds. He is just a dead shot with that scoped assault rifle. He's crazy. But yeah, that was fun. But now's not the time for fun, because as you saw from this section, Clicker Heroes 2, this is what you gotta do. By the way, this is the thing I was telling you to do, Playsaurus. Clicker Heroes 2 is in no way, shape or form a $30 or £23 game. It never was, and it never ever will be. No matter what gets added and tweaked, it will never be worth $30. And if you buy it, then you're a fool. Yes, I am looking at myself. This is not some big grand excursion of memento like Bloodstained Ritual of the Night or The Binding of Isaac Rebirth, a really big game, huge, ever-changing dungeons and worlds, and so on. And no matter how much you want to dress it up, it always was and always will be nothing more than a clicker game. And as a clicker game, well, it's just not worth 30 and never will be, no matter how much you try to dress it up. And I say a clicker game, but even that is not really the case, as it's hardly even a clicker game, as manual clicks take energy. Can't wait to get 30 more. I haven't touched the mouse, by the way. If you looked at my mouse, it's been down there for forever. Let me just try clicking. Maybe that'll speed up the process. Okay, it does speed up the process if you tap. But I have just realised about the tapping that we are now not enough energy. So if you were thinking that you could spam the tap button, you were clearly wrong. What do you think this is? A clicker game where you click shit? Nah. Why? So now that I've actually done the minimum of, hey look, we can do a bit of a tap. 1 ruby. Wait, this guy giving me extra rubies? No. But yeah, while I have now just done the thing of, hey, let's tap. Why do your taps consume energy? I am not leveling that up. I'm going to get the armor once I kill that treasure chest. Shush. Get out of here. But yeah, why do your taps consume energy? You would think if you want to like progress through the first few worlds as fast as possible to start getting that mad gold gain, you want to be like, hey, I wanna like do this as quickly as possible to really get through these 100 HP enemies as fast as possible. So why not enough energy? Yeah, so if you run out, then you have to sit there with your thumb up your arse waiting for your energy to restore. So it's not even really a game, it's more of a movie that 90% of the time you just watch and then occasionally click to buy something, or just till your energy runs out, which will be mere seconds. And this is nothing to say of the biggest problem, that when it comes down to it, you could get hundreds of other great games for half or even equal the price. Shantae and the Pirate's Curse or Half Genie Hero, both £15, a whole £8 cheaper than this game, this idle game. Both of them are complete and finished and offer much more. Cuphead, again, £8 cheaper with more to do. Again, it's a complete product and it offers you a lot more, what's the word? Like, you will feel that your time is a whole lot more well spent in Cuphead than you will just sitting watching the screen. Faye, Bomb Chicken, Shovel Knight, hell, even big AAA games or AA games if you like Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, $30, the exact same price, and it offers for far more. Crash Bandicoot The Insane Trilogy, $40, just $10 more, and you get 3 games in one. That price point compared to your competition, your competitors, well, it's just gonna paste you just up and down the corridor 6 weeks from Sunday, and it's just absurd that you would want to go down that route. And again, if you really want me to sit here and give you the hundreds that will offer 200, 300, 400 hours of playtime, I could. All the roguelikes that have been critically acclaimed, The Binding of Isaac Rebirth, Enter the Gungeon, Dead Cells, again, all cheaper, all roguelikes with ever-changing dungeons that offer far more replayability, completely finished, completely done, better quality products. My advice would be, right now, in early access, charge £7, $10, 1/3 of the price. I know, it sounds like a lot, but it's a hell of a lot more reasonable and more close to what the product is worth right now. Especially because, again, $30 it's not worth playing because it's a dead game, because you're so lazy that you can't even add a line of code to make a beta fucking save file transfer, yet all of your competitors mentioned above can easily do it, so you have no excuse. But then, once your game is finished, it's fully done, everything's added, all the skins are done, all the balancing's done. Once everything is done and it's a full, complete product, charge £15, $20. Again, it is £10 or it is $10 cheaper, but it would be a lot more reasonable. A lot more people would look at it and think, you know, it's fully finished, it's polished to a high standard, and at a push, we could say it's worth 20. At a push, I could say if it was completely done to the standard, you could say it's a bit of a stretch, but you know, I'd say yeah, they definitely deserve 20. But in no reality that works on sanity or any logical plane of existence will it ever be worth $30. So first I'm going to list off the good things, and then I'm going to list off the shit you need to fix. So these are the good things. The music, 100% done, and it's fantastic. I can't fault you on that. When I was getting bored of not clicking, so I had to wait for it, and that music come on perfectly timed, and I didn't want to speak through it. One, because I was kind of like, oh, the depressing music come on, but two, while I was thinking the scenario up, I was actually just listening to the music and being like, damn, this is actually pretty good. So music, 100% done, fantastic, can't fault you on it. The visuals, or at least all the visuals that are there, like the worlds, the environments, the monsters and so on, all great. They are all really nice looking, really well polished. The monsters are really nicely animated. Great. The menus, well, the ones you'll be seeing the most of, where you buy better armor, is great. It tells me everything that I need to know and how much my damage will go up and so on. Same for the ability tree. Everything that I own is in green, the things I don't own are in white, so I know exactly what I have and I know exactly what percentage boosters these abilities are getting. So it's great for the most part. A little bit cluttered, but a little bit of a clutter is an easy fix. And that is really all the props I can give you right now. And here is what needs fixing. Some minor stuff that you could do whenever you like, some that's just like, you gotta fix it now. You gotta fix it now. And the biggest one, if I haven't hammered this point home enough, Playsaurus, is get your ass off the shitter, get your ass off the couch, stop being lazy, and make the beta save file transfer over to the full game. If big complex games like Isaac with random ever-changing dungeons can do it, or Terraria with a full randomly generated ever-changing world and a full overhaul to the Plantera update can do it, then a fucking clicker game can, and you have absolutely no excuse. No matter what you say, if they can, there is no reason why you can't from beta to full release. Number 2. Get rid of all these graphs and stop being pretentious. It's a clicker game, and nobody gives two fucks about gold gained per second divided by damage per monster times by the monster slain per... You're fucking kidding yourself. If this is what's jacking up your Fantasyland price, then I would be more than happy to see it go for a price drop, because nobody cares about it. Number 3, keeping on the price, it needs to go down. If not forever, at least to $15 during the beta, because as it stands, it is not worth $30, and in reality it never will be when compared to its competitors. Number 4, regular manual clicks should not take energy. Considering this is a paid for experience that people want to play, they don't want to be time gated. It might have been fine to time gate in a free game, because that's the whole point of a lot of these free to play games. You time gate to basically increase the grind, but here it's a paid for game. You need to stop treating it like a free to play game and making people have to wait for their energy to recharge every 2 minutes. It's pathetic. And you might say, oh well, you got 100 there, Spyro. 100 sounds like a lot, but in reality you can go through that in about 20 seconds, so get rid of that shit. Number 5, the skins. You may already be making them. If you are, good. All I'll say is, make them free. With that own little tab that you've already got in place, that's great, it's got its own little tab, but just have all the skins earned in-game. Just have them cost, I don't know, 1,000 rubies or something. Let players earn them, as again, if you charge for them, then you are no better than EA. No better than Activision Blizzard, that's currently fucking up Call of Duty and my reignited trilogy, putting microtransactions into a full-priced game. You seem sincere with the info on your website, how you want to shirk the fee-to-pay model because of the whales, and, well, you seem sincere, but you know what they say, time to put your money where your mouth is. So, here you go. There's my gold coin in the ring. That's my gold coin in the ring. Time to throw your gold coin in the ring and prove that sincerity by putting your money where your mouth is and saying, yep, all the skins, everything can be earned in game. And continuing on with the skins, let's talk about the extra hero thing, because it's a bit weird. So, if there are no extra heroes, that's fine, just remove the message from your site. And to me, personally to me, I would rather have one set hero of Aqua and customize her with good, decent skins than lackluster skins for different heroes. So, I would rather have 20 well thought out, well made, decent skins for one hero than 100 lackluster, cheap, lazy skins for 20 different heroes. And, you know, some are going to be easy, like if we just take your clickers from Clicker Heroes 1, like the auto clickers, you could have the turkey suit from the turkey clicker for Thanksgiving, the reindeer clicker becomes a reindeer suit for Christmas, and the Easter bunny clicker, well, an Easter bunny for, again, well, Easter. And you could throw in some others from Clicker Heroes 1, like the Pink Ranger, or even all the coloured Rangers from the original, and then just some ones that are brand new that you've not done before, like a ballerina outfit, you know, the white tights, the pink wraps around the legs, and the pink tutus, and my glorious purple self is demonstrating, or a mermaid. Or, a really cool idea, you know what, actually now I'm saying this one, actually put this one in the game. You can have this one free on me. You can have this one free on me. Maybe just say idea by Insane Spyro in a little text in the corner, but you can have this one. A really cool idea, make a Catra skin. So you're the cat girl herself, and your clicker sword is a giant fish, because cats eat fish. That sounds cool. I'd like to see that. Put that in the game, please. Please, that I want that one. And lastly, and this is the biggest one, by far this is the biggest one, keep everything that you have earned. Again, it's not a free-to-play game anymore. I get it. Clicker Heroes 1, you lost pretty much everything when you ascended or reincarnated or whatever you'd like to call it, and I can see why, because that's the whole point. You're supposed to make people lose everything in a free to play game because you want them to have more of a grind, because you're angling to make people impatient and buy rubies. But when I spend nearly 24 slow, monotony filled, grindy hours trying to get through World 1, only to see I'm not the recommended level for World 2, so I go back to World 1 and lose all my stuff. 13. So what you want me to do is go back to World 1, start it all over again till I get 15, and then do that. Because obviously, boys and girls, just remember this. If you go in below the recommended level, you can't come out. You can't just leave the world. You can't just like leave it and then come back later. So yeah, that's a thing. And fucking hell, from 100 to 28,000, that is quite a bullshit jump. Standard economy, standard monster growth, even though it's not standard fucking monster growth because you've gone up by 27,900%. But hey, there you go. World experience. XP per monster 15. What? Okay, whatever. So yeah, that's all it was. And let me guess, do I keep my shit? No. No, you don't keep your shit.
Alex into that latex.
Oh, I mean, why would you? Why would you keep
I'm
your?
gonna disappear
keep
and
your
go
shit.
to the dodgy ass flipping server.
So there you go. That's Clicker Heroes 2. 20 fucking pound. Right down the share. Why? Or better statement. How about no? Because again, this is not a free-to-play game. You're not here to make people wait so that they will buy your rupees. So you need to make sure that the armor that you buy in World 1 you keep forever. Once you hit level 100 and you fully clear World 1, if you go back to World 1 to grind, you keep it. As it took 20 hours to get through all of World 1, and I thought, hey, a quick run through again will get me up. After all, you, Playsaurus, you yourself showed in your own Steam trailer, in this video right here, you blazing through all the sections, never stopping, always going at bullshit fire trail speeds. This is a lie. If you start on an advanced world, then you are under-leveled, so the grinding is going to take a very long time. But if you go back to the start of, say, World 1 to try and get higher levels, well, you lose all of your armor, all of your swords, and so you are pretty much back at zero, and again, it's going to take a long time. Now, if I would have kept all my armor, I would have been going through World 1 at the speed the trailer is talking about, but that's not the case. If someone goes back to a world to grind, they keep all their armor, as again, it's not a free-to-play game anymore, and people don't want to have this monotonous grind, so they keep what they get. And that's about it. So my final verdict for Clicker Heroes 2 is a pretty disappointing 2 out of 5. It's clear that it's unfinished, it's nowhere near worth the price, and it may be that Playsaurus is just talking bollocks for cash, and I highly recommend not buying it till it's at least in its full and finished version. And even then, I can't say buy a Clicker game for $30. I really just can't in good conscience say that. Now, some of you, like Princess Amanetta, you're ready to spit fire in the comments below, saying how I'm just a hater and I'm salty and I'm greedy because I want to strangle the life out of Playsaurus and I want them to lower their price for my benefit, and whatever other mean things that I'm going to be shouted at tonight, which probably means I won't be getting any sex out of the Changeling Princess tonight. Well, not unless I get in a Catra suit and start meowing for her. But I'm a netter, and others. It is not the point to show Playsaurus up and that's that. It is a point to show them up and say it's not worth it, and then push them, drive them to do better. As I did with Scott Cawthon, I offered the same thing. I am going to now offer you Playsaurus. Now, he's on his 7th shitty asset flip. He didn't listen. I tried, he ignored to be a sellout because all he wants is money for no effort asset flipped garbage. So he can go fuck off for all I care. Like, I really don't care about the man anymore because he lost all credibility. But, like him, Playsaurus, I offer the same thing to you as I offered to him because I'm fair to all of you. Playsaurus, if you're watching this, which I hope you are, I see so much potential in this game. I see so much potential in the things you've made. The music direction, great. Your character designs, fantastic. Hell, one of my favourite monsters of yours is Catra. And if you ever did make a real game, you could very easily have a Wario Land 4-like presentation where she is in her small cat form, all mysterious, following the player around, and then at some point the reveal that she can turn into a humanoid to talk to the player, as shown by the Wario Land representations. So like Scott, Playsaurus, there is great potential for you to do better, and I make you the same offer. I make the same offer to you as I did to him. Prove me wrong. It is something so far no developer has managed to do. Not a single developer that has made a subpar game has ever done, as it is a hard thing to admit that your own creation might be a bit shit unless you've got really bad depression and self-esteem issues like me and Pyrocynical, and you know you're just making garbage. Slight joke there, self-deprecating humour and all that, but I'm sure many of you worked hard on this game, and from what you've got it really does show. But it could be better, and I love being proven wrong. If you, first of all, address the issues. You obviously were so happy to make that $30 clicker game doing so well on your little public announcements. If you make a public announcement addressing all these issues, just saying like skins are going to be earned in game and about the graphs and everything I listed, just addressing it. If you address all of the public's concerns, like the price point, that's another big one that a lot of the Steam reviews, not just mine, a lot of the Steam reviews have brought up, but if you address all of the issues raised by my review and the other people, and then actually fix it, like if you address them, I'll give you a thumbs up, but then if you address them and actually over the coming months fix everything to the standard you promise and the standard that you say you're going to in the statement that you address everything in, I, the greatest dragon in gaming, will be the first one in line to make a video on you, congratulating you on what a wonderful improvement you have made and how well you have done. Either way, I win. If you don't do anything, then it proves you're lazy or greedy pieces of shit that are never to be trusted again, and my review was right about you and my points stand. Or, if you prove me wrong and address and then fix everything, then I get the pleasure of saying, what a good dev you are! Look how well you handled this situation. Everybody, look how well they handled this situation and how other companies, cough EA, could take notes from this company on how well they did and all of the good things that they did. Because you did do a good job. Well, that's what I would say, but that's if you do it. But either way, I'm just here to inspire you and push you to be better. So, now, well, the ball's in your court. Princess Amanetta believes in you, as seen here from her glowing review on your game. She fully believes in you, but I believe you can do better. So let's see it happen, Playsaurus.
Fire